Hello, everybody. Welcome to this little mini interview with Chawesy.
Hey, that's me. Sorry, I'm just for context, it's a bit early for me in particular. Probably earlier for Char, honestly, but I'm tired and Char has
Anyways, so we're gonna do this.
okay. All
Pretty
right,
much
yes
the
sir.
first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you, what you think the topic for today is. Again, guys, no, nobody knows what their
I
topics
thought I wasn't
are.
allowed to do that.
No, you could guess. What do you
See,
think it
he asked
is?
me beforehand.
No, you
He
shut
said I'm
up
not
and
allowed
you
to do
guess now.
that. Is it personal?
Guess what you think the topic is. Jesus, why are
You
you
wanted to
such a
ask me a
poo?
you wanted to ask me a personal question. I said no. Um, well, the questions are usually to do with like their expertise or maybe something they experience of which you want to help them out with or something like that or just discuss in general. So, I would expect you to ask me about YouTube, but I don't know. Could be a personal matter.
All right, well, yeah, you're half right. It is about YouTube. Um,
Why
and
do
it
you hate YouTube?
and it's
Go.
also about editing.
Oh, okay.
Again, I've mentioned this before to you, where I feel like I picked a topic for everyone that I can discuss with that particular person about, because I feel like they're
Yeah.
comfortable with it, they're passionate about it, they can actually speak about it. So that was mine for you. Like yours was easy because I was like,
Yeah.
this is
What
what
was Scott's
life
one?
is. Don't worry about Scott. So, anyways, so I'm gonna do two questions. We're gonna talk about those two questions. And have a timer set. So the first question is YouTube and editing is the topic. How did that start for you? What made you want to even do it to begin?
Start YouTube? Uh I was so like I went to university and I chose to do business marketing, right? I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought like the idea of like making a product appealing seemed pretty cool, but when I did university and I was like learning more and more about how like advertising kind of worked, I was like, this shit is fucked up. I don't want to do this. It's like it's like a hierarchy of like, okay, you can use people's like fear to like make them buy a product or their sense of like loneliness to
Or
make them feel
sex?
more. Yeah, well, not even like sex that much. Honestly, it's more like you target people who are desperately wanting sex with sex
Yeah.
with a product.
You
Like
attack an emotion in a sense.
it's yeah, like and you have like a literal like hierarchy of the most vulnerable emotions people have and their wants and stuff. So that's how marketing pretty much works. There's also like some other like horrendously evil stuff about marketing. Needless to say, marketing is fucking evil. So I was
Yeah.
like,
By the
okay,
way, if
well that
you're in marketing
sucks.
and listening to, um,
Oh,
hi.
you should be ashamed. You should maybe change your life and your perspective. Some people just want money.
I
That's
mean,
also fair
yeah. So
enough.
they probably aren't listening to.
All right, so I was like, I don't know what to do anymore at all now because like what I'm doing, what I'm studying right now is evil, and I don't really want to delve into that. And then like I was kind of like bummed out. Probably didn't do as much as I should have. I started watching some YouTube, which is kind of like at the time not new, but it was kind of new. It was like, in the very early days,
Yeah. First
and
year three.
for the first time I saw like Let's Play. So I saw like PewDiePie's Let's Play. I saw this like Minecraft Let's Play. Because at the time I was like prop into Minecraft. Before everyone liked it, okay?
Or
Um
when everyone liked it back then.
yeah, exactly. Well, shut up.
You know what I mean.
Um
So then it was this sense of like being like you're not sure of what to do, and then going
I
into
didn't know what to
YouTube
yeah.
and finding
I
some
didn't
kind
know
of
what to
outlet.
do. And a lot of things I looked at was just not appealing to me at all. So I was just very lost. I think like everyone gets that like sense of just what the hell do I do now that I finished school kind of feel. Like I think everyone gets that. Like no one's ever like properly like prepared for that because they haven't really experienced enough. But I looked in that and I was like, that's like awesome. Like commentating while also like playing a game and just putting it online for people to watch. Like that's amazing. To me, I absolutely love just like watching people play games. Like for example, when I was younger, like if I would get like a new game, and if my sister wanted to play it, I'd be like, "Yo, you play my game first, and I'll just watch you play it, and we'll have fun." Like I was very much up for like doing that, like where I was just like in the bystander, just
Like the
like
backseat
enjoying to
gamer.
watch. Yeah, and like while we just talked about it, like I really liked that. And then when I like play the game naturally, anyways, by myself, it's weird, but I would talk anyways. I would never talk as much as like YouTubers, but I would still talk while playing the game. So I always thought like that was probably like kind of ideal for me. So anyways, yeah, I did try, and I tried to
See, but for
I,
let's say for someone who's like back then, back in the day when YouTube was fresh off, like it just started, it wasn't like the big network that it is now or whatever.
yeah,
You know, so there's people who found it fun just to record themselves, record a gameplay of something, do a vlog, whatever it is, and just
yeah,
post it and nothing come from it. Like literally nothing come from it. And I think that's kind of the mindset you need to have when starting YouTube. You know, where
100%.
you don't want you're not doing this for the maybe you are doing it for the money or whatever, but you shouldn't
I know.
do it that way where it's like that's not how you start. You know, you're doing it because it's fun for you, it's something you really want to do, it's something you enjoy. And if some people start watching, then awesome. But at the end of the day,
That's
if nobody watches, you still have that mindset that you're doing this because it's fun for you, you know? Where
that's 100%. Yeah.
whereas like if that wasn't your mindset, you're gonna be disappointed if you don't see that result, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for example, like I don't like derail too much, but for example, when we started off doing YouTube, like when we met on YouTube, we were part of this like big YouTube group on like the Google Plus groups that used to be a thing back in the day. So like we used to be back. By the way, when you say back in the day, we're not like old school YouTubers. We're like it was like 5 years after the old school YouTubers. So we're actually kind of late to the party when we did YouTube.
YouTube
But like
started
we were part of
very
this.
early. 2000.
Yeah, it started really early, and a lot of people had already like conquered that and gotten really high from that. So like, I personally didn't start YouTube for a while after university. It was like a good year, a couple of years after that, and like by that point, YouTube has already been established quite hard. But like, I remember just seeing all these other YouTubers like my similar size, and their main drive was to make it big and get money and to earn money this way. And I was like, that's just not how it works. I did YouTube because I wanted to try it out to see if it's something I liked. And it was. It was something I really, really enjoyed. You know, at first, there wasn't much editing involved. It was more like me just commentating in front of a camera. And it was absolute garbage.
Yeah,
It
my
was
favorite
the worst.
YouTuber back in the
Shut up. It was awful. Like, I had this dodgy little camera. My laptop would overheat and go... The mic was like that basic, what was it, like the Yeti circle, the snowball mic.
Okay.
It was an awful setup.
Yeah. So that you mentioned that. My question to you now is like people a lot of the time if even if it's not for YouTube in general, they want to have a nice setup or a nice, you know, thing that they can use to do stuff with. But
Yeah.
that shouldn't be like the first thing. You know, do you believe like for me, for example, I think the first thought process when I did YouTube, when I first was that I was trying to break out of my comfort zone. And that's why I
Yeah.
did YouTube. Because I wanted to be able to speak in front of a camera. I wanted to get comfortable with just being able to do public speaking, speaking in general, you know, doing this type of stuff, commentating, or whatever it is. You know, that's why I did it. It wasn't because I
Mm.
wanted to like become famous and have this amazing uh you know outlet or whatever. That was the purpose at the time, right?
Yeah.
Um, but once you start getting into it, then you start thinking about that type of stuff, about quality, you know, your sound, your video, whatever it is, and stuff like that. So when was it for you that you felt like I have to upgrade?
When I wanted to like do it more, pretty much. So like at first when I was doing it, I was like, this is really fun. I just kept on going. And then like I looked back and I thought like, you know, this could be something a bit more. Like I could have like worked a lot harder on it. And the quality itself at first was just awful. Like I think I was struggling to like get 720, 30 frames per second. And I was like, if I keep on doing this, I'm never gonna get anywhere. But I still like. By the way, I want to like also say that I'm in no right an expert at this at all. Like nowhere near. I have so much more to learn. So like anything I say is not really like something you should maybe follow, but it's just like another point of view, I guess. But for me, like it was, I want to go to the next step. I was like, I've been doing this for a while. I've experienced how to record, how to splice it up and upload it, and I've learned all that. And it's pretty much, I think when I reached the cap of like what I could learn at this stage, then I wanted to upgrade. Then I wanted to like get a better computer, a better setup, and everything, so I can like get better audio, edit the audio to make it better, edit the video to make it better. So that I started like editing goofy little intros and like did more work in Photoshop and learned a bit more of Photoshop. And when I was recording, I was trying to like do different software to like get the best results. So
You were learning new skills along the way.
yeah, like I had to, and I feel like you can't just jump in there like with all this expensive gear. I mean, I guess you can, but I don't think
It's not
you
the
should.
recommended though. Yeah, because I
Well,
feel
I
like
think you
that's
need to learn that.
yeah, like you need to start off with something. Like you could start off anywhere. You have to start somewhere. It doesn't need to be like at the top of the game and stuff. You could be a complete clueless about what you're doing, but you learn along the way. You test things out. You see what works for you. You figure out what it is that you like to do. It might not even be let's plays. It might be vlogs. It might not even be vlogs. It could be motivation stuff. It could be anything. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess like at that point, I guess you were thinking like, okay, I need to upgrade because I want to do better quality stuff because I'm capable of doing that now since I have the skills for it.
Yeah.
So then my next thing is when it came to editing and learning that type of stuff, how do you think that does that consume a lot of your time? Do you enjoy it? What about
To
editing?
this day, right now, it 100% consumes way too much time. Like, but it's something I definitely pride myself in. It's like, you know what? I think editing might be a bit more of like a compensation if I feel like the commentary isn't good enough. So if I feel like the commentary is really bad or like, it's not as quite as good as I hoped, I'll probably like do more editing to kind of like compensate for that because I want to make sure the video is watchable. I wouldn't send out something that I wouldn't watch myself. I'm a true believer in that. And I think because of that, I have kind of self-sabotage as well because I keep deleting videos and stuff that maybe some people would still enjoy, but I personally would be like, I'm not proud to like upload that.
You become your own self-critic.
Yeah, but at the same time, like a year later, I'll look back in my videos and be like, that was crap and shit. Why did I upload that? So, like, but like, I think that's just a big sign of like growth, But back to like the editing, I really enjoy it. I do really enjoy it. I think sometimes it can be a bit tedious and a bit of a chore, especially because I use a software that's I'm only using because it's really cheap and I know how to use it. But the software itself.
What is the name of this software, Chawesy?
I don't want to advertise it because it's garbage. It's called Movie Studios Platinum. It's a 13
God.
one. I don't think I know any other YouTuber that uses this at my stage of
I mean, I'm
YouTube.
pretty sure there's a couple people who do. I mean, I know like Adobe Premiere is like a standard now, I guess, or whatever.
This isn't Adobe Premiere.
What?
This isn't Adobe Premiere. This is not Adobe product.
No, I know. I'm just saying like Premiere.
okay.
Yeah, like Premiere Pro or whatever is sometimes the standard for some YouTubers. Like this is where I edit my stuff and blah blah blah. Like there's probably
Actually,
other softwares that we use.
A lot of people uses Adobe Vegas.
Yeah.
To edit the software, which I'm gonna try and make the change to actually because it's kind of similar to what I'm using now.
That would be like your next upgrade at this point.
100%. Yeah, when I can afford like that monthly payment, yeah, I definitely will. But like right now, the software I'm using, it has a tendency to crash a lot. Lots of like errors and stuff in it. So like it can be frustrating, like losing 20 minutes of work. That is like, and repeating that same work again hasn't got the same feel as like when you kind of like do it creatively. Because let's face it, editing right now for me is a really good creative outlet. It's a really good like way just to be creative and just express whatever you want. And I feel like I have a nice little like easel to paint on there.
Yeah, for sure. You see,
Like it's
like
just
okay, like I think sometimes like anybody who is doing YouTube, like it is a great way to have a creative outlet. But anybody who's just doing it like for fun or just doing it to do it, it could be a good way for you to just learn something about yourself, learn something about what you've learned as skills in editing and stuff, and just seeing your work out there. People make portfolios on YouTube and they get jobs out of it and stuff like
oh for
that.
sure.
So YouTube has become a thing that like you can pretty much anything at this.
I think it's incredible, like what you can do with that. Like whether it's like website like designing or like just graphic designing, like honestly, like anything creative, you can just make a portfolio on YouTube, and you can get a job that way. You can like just show people like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and like it's a great way to just to show everything you've done so far and your growth. I think it's a really good platform to do that
There's
on.
videos on how to do stuff like how to cook this, how to build this, how to do like it's just a
Oh,
great way to like find information and it's literally at your fingertips.
like those mukbang videos.
Jesus.
You seen those?
But yeah, I mean, so then I guess for you editing has become something like you're very passionate about it, you love it, but it's also work now, you know? So how do you
Editing is work.
differentiate the two where like you have to give yourself that break? When do you know when to give yourself when to stop?
Whenever I get like a creative block, if I'm like struggling to like continue the video and do edits and I'm not too sure where I'm going with this, I will need to take a break. Like whether it's just like literally a 5 minute break where I just walk outside for a bit and just think about it, or whether like I literally start like a different project, I would need a break after that, and that happens quite a lot in videos as well, especially like depending on my mood. You know, if I'm not in a good mood and like I feel really tired, then I'll have like a lot more, I guess, creative blocks where I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this video yet. So you move on. But like it's hard because there is like a demand of people being like, when's the next video out? And I'm like, oh, trying.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that in itself also becomes like pressure, a little bit of a stress that
Yeah.
you got to do this at a certain point.
I mean, I, I, I don't know. I think it's almost like motivation for me though. I, especially for like, all right, so like battle cats is my biggest thing on my channel, right? And the fact that so many people want battle cats kind of like motivates me hard to do like extra edits and stuff because I know people are gonna watch it. The fact that I know people are gonna watch it and respond well to it gives me so much more energy and motivation towards that video. Whereas like a video that's maybe like a series I've been doing for like a month that I know isn't doing well, that's really hard to get the motivation to like edit and do because I know people aren't gonna even attempt to watch it. They're not even gonna click on the video despite it being right in front of their face, knowing that I've spent hours and hours and hours doing it. They don't even give it like the time of day, and that's extremely demotivating. So like,
So for you then, when you edit a video, regardless of what that video might be, let's say you record for 30 minutes, right? How
yeah,
long do you think it takes you to edit that 30-minute video to your standard? What you
all
like?
right. Just to clarify, there hasn't been a single 30-minute video I've recorded this year that I had to condense down to a video. They've always been longer, but a 30-minute video
No,
for
it's
me to
just for
edit.
an idea for people, like if you're getting into editing now, or you want to
Oh,
just have an idea of how long it
I
takes
don't
for
think
these videos that are being made to be edited.
I don't think I'm a very good representation of that. Just because of
No, no,
like
it's
I
just
do.
from your perspective, how long does it take you? Because
All
everybody,
right, from
takes
my
differently. Somebody who just started might take 3 hours to do a video, whereas somebody who's a
yeah.
pro might take an hour or even 30 minutes. Who knows?
Well, I'm more like I maybe do too many edits. That's good for the video itself. So, but you say like a 30-minute gameplay recording or like 30 minutes
Yeah,
for a
like
video, like a
what's
video
a
that is
general
30
like
minutes long.
a day for you? You just wake up and you start editing. What does that look like for you?
If I have, honestly, like it's hard to to put like a time on it for me personally, which is really bad because you want a schedule, of course. But for me, I just keep editing until it's done. Like some videos could just take up to like over 10 hours. Some videos can be done within like 4 hours. It honestly like it can fluctuate so much, with so many different variables. Like, is my commentary good enough to like hold up like a lack of editing? What kind of edits do I want to do in it? Is a video like 2 hours of gameplay that I've condensed down to like a 30-minute video, a 20-minute video? Like there's so many things that I have to like put in there as a variable to like decide whether or not how long it's gonna be.
Yeah. No, that makes
In
sense
terms
because
of editing.
anybody who's getting into it, or people who already know, they know that process, or maybe they're getting into that process and they're trying to figure out a way to, just work. And
If they're
sometimes
getting
it
into it,
depends on the person too. Like the person could take a couple hours to do it because they're comfortable with it. They're like, you know what, this is good. Or some people just have what they have and just check it, just sure nothing's changed, the video's fine, audio's fine, and you don't have much editing to begin with. And that works
yeah,
too. Like it all depends on, I guess, your preference on what you want.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that was it for the topic of YouTube editing.
Oh, it was really quick and easy. Feel like we didn't really touch much on it, but
No,
sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of other things that we could talk about, but
Yeah.
it was my main two things of just wanting to know what started YouTube for, what the editing process for you is, if you enjoyed the two things. And I mean, I feel like we touched on that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. A little tiny bit.
Do you have any last words before?
Don't do YouTube.
There you go. And that being said, thank you guys so much for listening in if you have, and bye now.
Bye bye. Bye bye.